Now let me show you how you can use this animating layers technique to create a panning background. One way to create a panning background is to use the camera tools and to create a pan the way that you would see in the camera section. But here's another simple way that you can pan a background, and that is to create a very long horizontal background or whatever shape background you need, and then simply animate the background behind your stationary character. So in this case I have created a background and I've used this as my animating layer. Right now it is animating already, as you can see by my playhead. As I move forward, I've moved the background layer back to make it look like the bird is flying forward. But to demonstrate how I did that, I'm going to reset this layer transformation, and by going up to layer and then reset transform. And now to transform this layer over time, I'm just going to click on the appropriate layer, click on the first frame transform tool to position the background wherever I want it to be in the first frame. In this case it's already where I want it to be. And now I will click on the last frame transform tool. As you can see, I made a little mistake there because I clicked on the bird layer before I did that. So now I'm going to click on the background layer and the last frame transform tool, and now I'm going to move that background into position that I want to. So I'm going to just slide it over to the left. I'm going to press the shift key while I'm doing that to help it move perfectly horizontal. And there I am with the end. And now I'm ready to play it. I can use my playhead and scrub through it down here, or I can go up to the playback toolbar and I'm going to use play selection with a loop on it. And when I play that, you can see it moving very smoothly. Anyway, I have a really nice panning background effect that I did by using animating layers instead of using the camera. So there's two different ways that you can do that. So as you can see, animating layers is something that has a lot of different applications that can make your animatics look very nice. When you have an animating layer, it may not appear in your printout the way that you want it to look because you're not really going to be able to get that sense of multiple movements without the use of a special technique called a snapshot. So to illustrate, let me just show you first of all what this panel will look like when we print it out into a PDF. What I have over here next to tool properties in these panels over here is the PDF export panel, which lets me sort of preview what my PDF is going to look like. If you don't have this visible, and it's not visible by default, I'm just going to make it disappear right now. You can enable additional panels to show up here by going over to this little downward arrow, clicking on it, and now I'm going to go to PDF export just so I can bring that up. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to show you what this scene is going to look like when you print it out with and without the snapshot enabled. So for right now, if I go to this scene consists of just one panel, and I'm going to go to preview and click on that, and it's going to show me a preview of what the PDF is going to look like for that particular scene. So it's just showing me one panel. It doesn't really illustrate the moving as well as I might like it to. So what I can do now is add snapshots to this single panel, which will allow it to print out a number of different PDF panels just for this one storyboard panel. So let me come over here, and I'm going to choose the images that I want and the way that I want them to be printed out. So I like the way this frame looks, so I'm going to right click on that timeline there and say add snapshot, and it's going to add a snapshot where I had the playhead. So now I want to add a snapshot here, for example, just because I like the way it looks. I'll right click on the timeline for that panel and say add snapshot, and then I can move it forward again, and I like the way that looks too. So I'm going to print that by using add snapshot. And now watch what happens when I go to PDF export and I preview for the current scene on 3 panels horizontal. You can choose from among a bunch of different ones. So to press preview, this is going to show me what this particular scene is going to look like when it's put out to PDF. And now I have a number of different views of that pan. So that's a nice way that you can turn a single panel that animates into 3 panels when it prints out on paper. So this way you get the best of both worlds. It'll look good in your animatic and it will look good when you print it out.